أما بعد. باب المراقبة. This is the fifth bab in Riyadh al-Salihin of Imam al-Jalil al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala. The first hadith. Before that, the habit of Imam al-Nawawi, as you've picked up, is that he begins the chapters with verses of the Quran. The first ayat that he brings, قال الله تعالى أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الذي يراك حين تقوم وتقلبك في الساجدين, which is, as a verse, it has some really interesting points. Even from, there's a doctrine of the Sufis where they believe in a concept of al-haqiqa al-Muhammadiyya sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is very much part of the tradition from which many of us hail. Most people here, not all, will come from the subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka even. They were areas, geographical locations in which the Sufis had a big role to play. By the way, I'm always caveating, I want anyone to know that listens to me, that when I use the word Sufi, I don't mean Ahlul Bid'ah. I don't mean the people of Bid'ah. I don't mean the people that reject the Sharia or introduce false practices into Islam. No, I'm talking about the people of Tazkiyah. Because Tazkiyah is very important of the heart. In fact, I'll tell you something beautiful, you'll like this. Hazrat, in the Quran, you know that most of the du'as that are recorded are the du'as of who? Do you know? Should we make this interactive today? See how that goes. Most of the du'as in the Quran are recorded du'as of Hazrat Ibrahim, master of du'as. Buzurg are really good at making du'as, aren't they? I don't know if you know that. I love the du'as of Buzurg. Any Buzurg that you meet, they know, because they've seen life. They know what's important. And so, have you noticed that if you ask someone young to make du'a for you, they probably think it's like, oh, get that promotion, get that job. Do you know what I mean? Like, important things, I'm not denying that. But you know when you ask a Buzurg, Allah khush raki. Allah khush raki. Allah budai. Allah nekari. Allah pala kari. I don't know, it's just maybe my Pahari here, right? But like they make general du'as of khushi, happiness. Because they've seen life and they realize you may have thought happiness was in a place, but it wasn't there. Let God decide for you. This is why Qibla Pizar Sahib, every Jum'ah, he makes the du'a after Jum'ah. He only makes one du'a in the Darul. He makes du'a, he says, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana, wa fil akhir hasana, wa qina adhaban nar. Oh Allah, give us khair here and khair there. I don't know what the khair is, you know better. But why I mention this, because he mentioned the verse in the Quran of muraqabah. Muraqabah is like the idea of self-evaluation. You know, naam. Raqib, you know who Raqib is? Allah describes himself as Raqib sometimes. Raqib, you probably got a friend called Raqib. You got a friend called Raqib. I had a friend called Raqib. It was Raqib. And Raqib is someone that grabs you from the back of your head here and forces you in a direction. You know, like when you got a little kid with you and they're straying off and you grab them from the back and you kind of do this to them. Raqib. So, muraqabah is to do that raqaba of yourself. You hold yourself from here. So which way are you going? And you point yourself in the right direction. That's the point of Raqib. Of muraqabah. So self-evaluation. So some of the Buzurg, our Shaykh, he would say that before you go to bed, that you lie down and you go through, you know, like some people, I don't know if you do this, but I do this, is you tick off the stuff that you had for the day, and then you write your diary for the next day, basically, right? Some people work weekly, some people work monthly, some people work daily, some people work to the T, mashallah, tabarakallah. They're the movers and shakers, right? But for the most part, to have a clear cut for the day of what I need to do, right? They do this with their souls as well. So I know people, they actually have a diary for their spiritual states. For example, what they'll do, this is muraqabah, yeah? Because that's the bab. So for example, let's say if today I didn't really feel khushu' in my prayer, yeah, or I don't feel like my iman's very high. And I remember I went to our sheikh and I said, sometimes, you wake up and your iman is like, mashallah, you can take on the world. Sometimes you just don't know. You don't know whether you're going or coming. You don't know where your iman's gone. First thing he got up, he was sat like this, lying down here. He was reading. He looked up at me like this, looking down his glasses, I still remember. And he says, Zindagi hanji hondi. That's life. Kade uch, kade neech. You have to keep up the struggle. His words. You have to keep up the struggle. Because that's just the nature of life, ups and downs. But it's interesting. And so what the Mashaykh mentioned is that you keep a diary. So in my diary, for example, today, let's say right now I'm thinking to myself, yeah, my iman isn't that strong right now. So then they would have noted down, what did I eat today? From where did I eat today? What did I say today? With whom did I sit today? With whom did I speak today? What did I watch today? Where did I go today? They'll make a full list of everything. And then they'll say, okay, today, feeling weak in iman, not feeling strong, did not wish to pray this or read this or do that I normally do. What did I do? I woke up in the morning, okay, I prayed Fajr. Okay, that was a good start. I had this for breakfast. I don't know, said this to my family, whatever it is. I checked this on my phone. I was scrolling through my Twitter X account. What were the sort of things that came up my feed? This is taking your spiritual state really seriously, isn't it? What came up my feed? What did I see? What did I see accidentally? What did I think? I went to work, this happened, that happened. Full list of the day, muraqabah. Taking themselves to account. And then they'll say, okay, they'll leave that there. The next day, same thing. Until they start to see patterns. You know, when I eat this happens to me. You know, when I eat from there, this happens to me. You know, when I sit with so-and-so, this happens to me. And then they start to notice patterns in there. And then they think, okay, it's a bit like if you've got a food allergy. You just take certain things out over a period of time until you can diagnose what the problem might be, right? Lactose intolerant. I'm sure you'd have to do that probably, right? Unfortunately, we don't have that so you know when you go to the doctor and the doctor does a test on you and says, you're lactose intolerant, and they save you all the hassle, that's the sheikh. Yeah, that's the sheikh. When you go to the sheikh and say, Maria, let pari hoivi. And the sheikh says, Mi pata. It's because this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. And there's mashayikh like that. Right? So, make a full thing and then you watch it over the month. 40 days. 40 days is your chilla. And you check every single thing. And then once you pick up the patterns, you realize, you know what? Every time I go on social media, generally my iman is low. You know, the tank is a bit low. You know, every time I meet so-and-so, because you know that conversation was negative. Or banda hi theek nahi si. Or maybe you were the banda that wasn't teak. But you get my point. Or when you eat from a certain place. Maybe you go to a certain takeaway. You like takeaway? You go to a certain takeaway. Whenever you eat their food, maybe the money's haram. So it could be so many different factors and so people, they check. It could be anything. It could be anything. And it's going to differ for every single person. That's muraqabah. That's one style of doing muraqabah. Self-evaluation. Self-evaluation. Now normally when you'd go to a sheikh in the days where there was actual chilla taking place, then the sheikh would put you into the khanqa, you were not to leave. The sheikh would give you certain adhkar to read that would help you with the tazkiyah of the heart. Tazkiyah of the heart. And so they know what to give you and how much to give it to you because of medicine. Words have power. You know, I don't know if you saw there was that study where they took water and they said positive words with water and they froze it. And with one glass they said negative words, bad words, evil words, satanic words, and they froze it. And then when they cut the one, basically when they done dum on it, yeah, but good dum. And when they cut it, when they cut the ice, it was clear. As in there was no edges. It wasn't jagged. And when they cut the negative, it was jagged. So you can imagine that we're made up of what, 70% of water. And so if you're surrounded by a lot of negativity, then you can, that's why you feel uljan. That's a really good word. I don't know how to translate that into English. The word uljan. But you know that, how do you translate uljan? Uljan like koi halaf. Anxiety maybe, uncomfortable, irked. How about that? Oh, irked, yes. Irked is a good one. Now you feel irked, anxious, worried. That's uljan you feel. There's a reason for it. There's always a reason for it. There's always a reason for that feeling. Because remember, we live in a world of asbab, causality. There's always a reason for why you feel the way you feel. Some days your iman is really high. You think nothing of it. But you don't know. Go through the day what happened. And there may be something. And then if you can follow the pattern, you realize those things help me with my iman. Those things. That place does. That food stuff does. Those people do. My iman is good, etc. So it's about muraqabah. And this is why the tazkiyah, so that's why I said not Ahlul, I was saying chilla. Sorry, 1 second. So what the Shaykh would do is give you the adhkar. He'd put you there, then he'd manage you. Like micromanage you. Micromanage you. Like the bay'ah that we have today. You know who says this? I don't say this. Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, alayhi rahmatullah, he writes that the bay'ah of today, he's saying this in his class 100 years ago. He says the bay'ah of today is a bay'ah of barakah. It's not a bay'ah of suluk. You know, Aj, when you give bay'ah to a shaykh, it's barakat. That's really what it is. Just to have a link, spiritual link to those mashayikh and to the, ultimately to Rasulullah alayhi sallam. Achhi cheez hai. They'll give you a wazifa, jao. It's not a real bay'ah of suluk. A bay'ah of suluk is that it's like joining a madrasa. You know when you join a madrasa, like I made Maulana Yahya lead salah today. I don't know where he's gone. The reason why I made him lead Isha is he's 4th year Dar Islamic student. He's one of your boys. And he's doing very well, mashallah. And so it's good for him to know that this is ultimately where we hope to see him when he graduates, or he completes his study, and for the community to appreciate him. Because it's not easy leaving your family and living in a Darul you know, it's not easy. And to be studying that amount every day, it's not easy. So we have qadr for him, right? Anyway, so it's like a madrasa. You're not leaving. You're in the chillahane. So you go off and they manage you and you come back. Sheikh, this is how I feel. This is what I saw. This is what dream I had. This is what experience I had. And they would continue. And then they would test you through cleaning, through all kinds of ajaib, whatever the fault that they find in you, they will then remedy that fault for you. And they would take people in these marahil until they took them to a state where they had dominated their ego, their nafs. You know, Qibla Pirzad Sahab, the principal of Jam al-Karam, Hafidhahullah Ta'ala, his father, Maulana Gul Muhammad, was an Imam Azim of the Qadiris in Jang, Pakistan. His father, so Maulana Gul Muhammad, his father put him into chilla for 40 days at the Khanqa, at the maqam of Shams Tabriz in Multan. In Multan, there's a maqam of Shams Tabriz. So he put him for 40-day chilla there. And he said, this is told about him afterwards. He said it when he left to his brother. There's a whole story. I'll give you the lub of it. That he said that the first night, he said, I was in muraqabah and I was in a state of dhikr and I was in meditation, and Allah showed me a vision in which he said, I saw Shams Tabriz, and he said, and next to him I saw a monster which was huge, and I asked him, what is this? He said, this is your nafs. This is your nafs. I'm showing you your nafs. Look at the size of it. And he continued and persisted. There's a whole story beautiful about a flag that he saw coming from the heaven. And there's a beautiful story. And he said, but by the end of the 40 days, he said, Allah showed me another vision where I saw Shams Tabriz and I saw the monster was tiny in the lap of Shams Tabriz. The Shams Tabriz had helped me to control my ego, and he had reduced it, not got rid of it. Yeah, because Isma is only for the Anbiya. Yeah. But it's tiny. And Shams Tabriz was helping him control it. So it's in the lap of Shams Tabriz. That was the metaphor, the meaning of it, right? So what happens on this is that the idea is, and some of these awliya, like Mujaddid al-Faythani, Al-Imam al-Rabbani, al-Sarindi, rahimahullah ta'ala, he only had one day with his Shaykh, Baqi Billah. Did you know that? One day. The Imam of the Naqshbandis, Mujaddid Sahab, rahmatullah alayh, one day with his Shaykh, Hazrat Baqi Billah. Hazrat Ashraf Allah, you're getting you're putting some strings in me today. I may even sing for you later, right? Hazrat Ashraf great Imam. He was such a scholar that Tashkripirzadeh, Ahmed Tashkripirzadeh, bit of a mouthful his name, Hazrat Tashkripirzadeh, he has a famous book called Ash-Shaqa'iq al-Nu'maniyya fi Ulama al-Dawla al-Uthmaniyya. It's a book on the ulama of the Ottomans. He himself was a great Ottoman scholar, right? Rahimahullah. And he says about, I've written this as a biography. It's very small, like 2-3 pages only. You can go on to reflectislam.blog. It's a blog I started, I don't update it. Reflectislam.blog, I think. Right? Something like that. And on there you can see and I translated some of his poetry as well. Ashraf Ibn Ashraf. Tashkripirzadeh said that my father was his companion, Mu'asir. And he said that my Walid Sahib said that had Ashraf not become a Sufi, meaning when he became a Sufi, he didn't become one of those Sufis that remained a scholar teaching. Many did. Many of the Sufiya continued teaching, right? But some of them, they had such a ladha that they went into a different world. And so they just focused on wa'adh and tarbiyat. So they were like, the books and the teaching of books. Tika, I'll leave that, the ulama, you carry on and do that. But I just want to focus, my takhassus is going to be this. My specialization is going to be this. Some people have specialization in theology, some in fiqh, some in language, some... No. Tashkripirzadeh laments, and he said, my father lamented. And he said, had the calendars not he usually uses these words, not me. He said, had they not hijacked him, he was such a great scholar that we would have forgotten the names of the ulama of the past. That was Ashraf. He graduated, he was teaching in the madrasa in Iznik. One day, he was walking around and he's thinking to himself, Yaar, I'm very knowledgeable. I'm mudarris, I'm teaching all these people. But I feel like there should be more. And he sees a darwesh. And the darwesh, he was a madzub. Madzub they're a little bit strange. It's always the strange ones you got to watch out for. A little bit strange. And so he sees him and he says to him, you've taken your nasib of the dunya, but you haven't taken your nasib of spiritual opening. And he said, can I be a salik? Can I be a spiritual wayfarer? Can I be a Sufi? So the Madzub says to him, go get me kofteli chorbasi, which kofteli chorba, kofte. Go get me kofta, chorba, soup with kofte in it. Very popular in Turkey. Ashraf is, remember, is an Anatolian saint. This is in Turkey. But this is yesteryear, yeah? He goes knocking door to door, place to place. No one's got koftali chorba. They only got chorba, normal soup. So he thinks, well, I don't want to go back empty-handed. So he took the chorba back. The Madzub looks at him and he says to him, "Ita to koi kofte ko nahi? Ashraf kofte." He goes, "Zur kofte ko nahi labbe. Ye chorba se main ke nahi aaya." Right? So the Madzub picks up some mud and he scrunches it up into a bowl and he throws them into the soup and he mixes it up. And he says to him, "Here, look, it's kofte, eat it." He just took it without questioning it and he started to eat the soup. And so the Madzub says to him, "Yes, you could take your nasib." Yeah, meaning, if you're able to trust sometimes, if you're able to take a little bit of a leap to kill your ego, trust the Shaykh. Why? Because the Shaykh helps you to learn to submit to God. How? Like Al-Ghazali says, if your murid, he really likes his nice clothes, make him clean in them till he loses his love for them. So, nothing wrong with having nice clothes. But do they occupy your heart? I can't go out looking like that. What are people going to think? I have to be a certain way, live a certain standard. Can you punish him for that until he takes it out of his heart? Out of his heart. So you can have it in your hand, the dunya, but not in your heart, right? That's the point. There has to be a reason for the dunya. It can't be for the sake of the dunya itself. There has to be a maqsood. Tayyib. So Ashrafullah goes to Bursa, to Amir Sultan, still buried there. Great Imam, Azim, contemporary of Mullah Fannari and other great Imams of Bursa. Goes there, says to him, take me as a murid. He says, I'm 100 years old. Go to Anatolia, go to Ankara, literally Ankara for the word Angur. Yeah, because he used to have a lot of, Angur is a Persian word. He used to have a lot of grapes, Angur. And there's Haji Bayrami Valley. And I've talked about Haji Bayrami Valley before. Haji Bayrami Valley, for some context, for those of you from Pakistan, is like Data Sab. It's like in Ajmer Sharif, Khaja Sab. That level. A big name. He goes, go to Haji Bayrami Valley, he'll sort you out. So he went, he becomes a murid khas. In fact, Haji Bayrami Valley marries off his daughter to him, Hayrun Nisa. And he's there, he serves as the Imam in the masjid, and he's in the Khanqah for 12 years, taking tarbiyah. After his education, after being a teacher, 12 years. Sheikh says to him, you have khilafat, go back to Iznik and give tabligh. Wa'adh, get murids, teach people tarbiyah, take them on suluk. He goes back after a little while, he says, I just don't feel like this is enough. Some people are not satiated. So he goes back to his Sheikh and his father-in-law. This is why they call him Ashraful Damat. Damat in Turkish, Damat is the same as we use. You know, Damat is a Persian word. Any word, there's 2,233 words that are the same between Turkish and Urdu. And all of them are either from Arabic or Persian. Because these were all languages. Urdu came later, but these languages were all connected because of the Seljuks. They were essentially Persianites. They were Turks, but they were in Baghdad. Anyway, you get the point. So he says to him, he goes back and he says, Azur, Ale Jini Banya. La yakfi. He says, is this Sayyidul Surur? Is this it? Is there not more for me? Haji Bayrami, when he says, I took you as far as I could take you. There's a sheikh, I forget the name, I put it in the biography. There's a sheikh in Aleppo, Halab, Syria. At that time there were no borders. The good old days of Khilafah. So he says to him, go there. He was a Qadri sheikh. 12 years he spent with a Kamil sheikh, like Haji Bayrami Valley. Not satiated. He goes, but he done the groundwork. When he visited the Qadri Shaykh, who was a Sayyid, he put him into 140 day chilla. And that was it. He was full Qadri. His diwan, I have his diwan, I translated some of his diwan. From it's Ottoman Turkish, Old Turkish. Easier for us to translate because the Persian. He, and my analysis, you could say, istiqra, my inference, 70% of the book of the Diwan is a manaqib of Ghaus-e-Azam, Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani. 70%. It was a pakka Qadri, like on another level. Like, love Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani. And one of the poems I translated it, Jamal Mush. Oh, maybe you haven't got me fired up enough. I was about to, nearly broke out into it. And we went to his grave, we sang it to him. He says that the dervish of Abdul Qadir, of Pirim Abdul Qadir, it goes a little bit like this. Jamal Mush dervishleri, Pirim Abdul Qadir, elim verdim eline, Pirim Abdul Qadir. That's what he says. He says, the murids of Abdul Qadir have joined. I gave my hand into his hand of my Pir Abdul Qadir. And he goes on. It's a very beautiful poem. Have a look at it. Find it on the blog. And he was an amazing Imam al-Azim, Ashrafullah. That experience when he went back, Allah opened up. Thousands and thousands of murideen, people circulating around him. He was the one that Fatih Sultan Mehmed, Qutb al-Zaman, Ni'm al-Amir. This is the one that 600 years before he was born, Rasulullah ﷺ said, La tuftahanna al-Qustantiniya, Constantinople will surely be conquered. فَنِعْمَ الْأَمِيرُ أَمِيرُهَا, what an excellent leader will be its leader. وَنِعْمَ الْجَيْشِ ذَلِكَ الْجَيْشِ, what an amazing army will be the army. That Mehmet, Muhammad al-Fatih, the second, the son of Murad the second. This is that Mehmet. Like Qutbuz Zaman, the one the Prophet said, Ni'mal Amir. He went like this in the middle of the night with his Grand Vizier Mahmud Pasha, who's the one that, what's the word when an official tells you to write something? They commission it. The commissioning of Mullah Khayali to write his Hashia on the Sharh al-Aqaid, for those of you that know what I'm talking about here, was Mahmud Pasha. He also builds the first mosque in Constantinople, Istanbul. The first mosque, Mahmud Pasha. That Mahmud Pasha, who appoints Mullah Khayali as the head Mudarris in Iznik. That Mahmud Pasha, right? Him and Fatih like this. Fatih Sultan Mehmet goes with a hood, in hiding in the middle of the night. He is Sultan, you don't understand. He is Fatih Sultan Mehmet. Right? And he goes like this into the Khanqah in Iznik, asking Ashraf Allah, please take my bet. Take my bay'ah. And Ashraf Allah says to him, no. You're an Imam Adil. Your job is to be a just Imam. That is your job. Your job is not to become a dervish. Everyone has their own job in life. Go back. He went to Abu Lufa, Fatih Sultan Mehmet, the gate. I made a video on it somewhere. And I don't know if I'll put it up. Gate, small gate in Sulaimaniya. The whole area is called Abu Lufa now. He went there, he migrated from Konya to Constantinople after the conquest. Fatih Sultan Mehmet went to his gate. Shahid MLA. He goes there. The Murids come out, they say, Sheikh said you're not allowed to come in. I said, Jihad, what should I do? Ask the Sheikh, what did I do? They go back, they say to the Sheikh, he's asking, what did he do? He says, tell him, if he comes in, he will taste such a ladha, such a taste of the majlis, that he will leave his sultanate, and we need him to be there. Because he's a wali. And you know what, something that Mullah Mubashir Iqbal, many of you know him, he's been visiting my friend and brother, he said something beautiful to me actually about this last night on the way back from Burnley. And because I mentioned this point, and he said, he goes, I was thinking about this. And he goes, you know what I think? This is his opinion, and I think he's right. Wallah, he's beautiful. He goes, because the Prophet ﷺ praised Fatih Sultan Mehmet, he goes, I believe that the Mashayikh were too shy to take bay'ah from him. They did an istihya. Now how are we going to take a bay'ah from a murid whom the Prophet had already praised before he was born? Like if that's the murid, what kind of sheikh do you have to be? You see, so they did the haya from him. They didn't take his bay'ah. That's a beautiful way. That's a beautiful way. It's a beautiful way. Ad-Din is based on adab, isn't it? Rooted in love and adab. Muraqabah. So I started this all off about the Haqiqa al-Muhammadiyya, about that which I won't go into. But I mentioned Muraqabah, I think I went off a little bit, but I don't mind. Because these are the people, the Ahlullah, that taught people that path of adab, of love. And all of them were Ahlul Ilm as well, by the way. Some of them had ilm ladunni, directly from Allah. Some of them weren't learned in the Sharia, in the sense that they weren't like scholars. That was rare though. That was rare. Like the last famous great Imam of Azhar Mosque was, what's the name? He sang Al-Ghali, Rasulullah. Sheikh Salih Al-Ja'fari. Sheikh Salih Al-Ja'fari. All of the scholars of Azhar used to come and listen to him, and yet he never studied a dars in his life. Allah gave him that ilm. But generally you see the ulama, and then Allah took them on a path and just blessed them. Blessed them. Look at them. Now, hundreds and hundreds of years later, you still remember them, you think about them, you visit them, you benefit from them. Awliya. These are the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the Sufis, that's why I said this. These are the Sufis that I mean. I don't mean Ahlul Bid'ah. No. I mean Ahlul Tawheed. I mean Ahlul Khair. I mean the people that truly understood. Those that truly knew Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as it is possible. Those are the people that I'm talking about. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us, the hadith of Jibreel, which I'll start that tomorrow then. But I thought I'll mention that because I had started off on Al-Haqiqa Al-Muhammadiyya, which I won't go into, inshallah ta'ala. I'll leave that there, but these are the people of Muraqabah of Tasawwuf. We make dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us suhbah with awliya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to see His people, to spend time with them, to benefit from them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us affairs from them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our mashayikh and the Ahlullah that are alive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us. For I make dua, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi. I ask for myself, Ya Rabbi, that even though we're not worthy of being in the presence of those awliya, of being in the company of those awliya, but Ya Allah, Ya Rabbil Alameen, they are those that are close to you. We pray that you make us close to them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. That you keep us in the zumrah, Ya Rabbil Alameen, Ya Akram al Akrameen. It's the weak, it's the faulty, it's the nachis that the awliya keep with them. So keep us with them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram al Akrameen. Protect our mashayikh, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram al Akrameen. And Ya Allah, we pray, make dua for the awliya, the Abdal of Sham, Ya Rabbil Alameen. No doubt, those that are there in Gaza with the people of Gaza, we pray, Ya Allah, that you protect them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram al Akrameen. By the barakah of this good act of talking about those that are beloved to you, your awliya, our buzurg, our sanad, those that upon whom we depend, our reliance. Ya Rabbil Alameen, we make dua, Ya Allah, Ya Kareem. Be easy with the people of Gaza, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, be gentle with the people of Gaza, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, we beg of you, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, that you guide those that are oppressing them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rabbil Alameen, if guidance is not written from them, then we pray that you destroy them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen, we pray that you break any hand that wishes to oppress a child, a woman, or anybody, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, we pray that you protect Masjid al-Aqsa from the hand of evil, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, protect those soiled hands, soiled with blood, soiled with tyranny and murder and treachery. Protect Masjid al-Aqsa from those hands, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. We pray, Ya Rabbil Alameen, Ya Rabbil Alameen, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. We pray that you protect Masjid al-Aqsa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, we beg you, Ya Rabbil Alameen, for the sake of your Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, for the sake of his brothers, from the messengers and anbiya, many of whom are buried there. Ya Allah, for the sake of the awliya of this ummah, for the sake of our mashayikh, Ya Rabbil Alameen, for the sake of the hadith of your Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, we beg you, Ya Allah, do not allow us to ever see the losing of Masjid al-Aqsa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Do not allow this generation to be the generation that loses Al-Aqsa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. We beg of you, Ya Rabbil Alameen, do not allow that stain to be on our generation, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. Bil-Aqs, we beg of you, allow us to have the honor of those that defended Masjid al-Aqsa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. Bijahi al-Nabi al-Kareem Taha wa Yasin. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا رحمن الرحيم.